Welcome to Women with Drive, a podcast from the Deakin Melbourne Boomers, talking all things women's hoops, hosted by Boomers' own Lou Brown.
All right, welcome to the second episode of Women with Drive. I'm your host, Lou Brown, and I'm excited to be back today with Australian basketball legend, Michelle Timms. Thanks for joining me again, Timsy, as it's always an honour to get your time and hear firsthand your thoughts on women's hoops. And I also know how busy you are with the Michelle Timms Basketball Academy, working with the next generation of young basketballers. So I'm betting on seeing a couple of Timsies in the future. Now, there is no one better to talk to about Aussie hoops, and especially as the Opals prepare for their opening game in Tokyo. Leaders like Michelle Timms not only walked in these shoes before, but really were vital in laying the foundation of the culture of the Opals and putting the Opals in contention for a medal every time they're on the international stage. So this coming Tuesday, the 27th of July, now don't miss it, the Opals are looking at the first pool game against Belgium. But before we dive into that matchup, I spoke with Timsy earlier, and here is what she had to say.
Women with Drive.
But looking forward towards the Olympics now itself, and just to quickly break down the Olympic formats, I believe there's 3 pools of 4. The top 2 teams automatically make the quarterfinals, and then the third best team of 2 of those pools will then as well continue into the quarterfinals.
It is very different to when I was playing, that's for sure.
Yeah, so what was it like when you were playing?
I think back in my day, you had to actually win 8 games or 8 games to get to the gold medal game. And now through this new format, it's shortened up, and we used to hang around forever, and keep playing so they could you could end up with a positioning at the Olympics. So even though you might not have made the medal round, you would still play games. So now it's pretty much cutthroat. So once you're out, you're done.
You're done. Yep.
But now it's a matter of 6 games, win 6 games to get to win the gold medal. So it is very different format. So and 3 pools. We had 2 pools of 6.
Okay,
I think
yeah,
pretty much.
so that's very different.
Very different, yeah.
It'll definitely be interesting to see how it pans out, as you say, and I guess time will tell. We will see very shortly, so that's super exciting. But now just to look at the Opals themselves, they've got 3 games coming up. Belgium on Tuesday. So let's look at Belgium, but first Opals. They're starting 5. We've got Beck Allen, Ezi Magbagor, Leilani Mitchell, Steph Talbot, and Kayla George. How do you think some of their roles may change, especially in Kayla George stepping up now, given the change in the lineup with Cambridge's departure?
Well, Cambridge leaves a big hole in that we don't have that inside presence, the block shotting and the change of shots ability. Obviously, someone's going to have to pick up the slack on the glass. On the glass,
yeah.
That's a collective. That's going to have to be a collective mindset. Not only defensively, but offensively, we can't be a one-shot team. We've got to be able to smash the offensive glass as much as we've got to be able to crash the defensive glass. And obviously there's a point spread that needs to be covered, which we've shown we can. And I think it's a little bit tricky for teams now to actually work out how they're going to scout us, because it's going to be, I think throughout the Olympics, it's going to be a wide point spread of our players, different players scoring. And it's not just going to be a focus of one player. If you can stop her, you can stop the Opals. Well, that's not the case anymore.
Women with Drive.
All right, so no easy matchups for the Opals. Leilani Mitchell, she's just come off 2020 MVP, finals MVP, WNBL, and then WNBA having a stellar year. How is her role going to develop throughout the Olympics for the Opals?
Well, I think she's going to be pivotal, Lou. Look, I'm excited because Leilani Mitchell, there's one thing about her is she's a big-time player.
Yeah.
In nearly every grand final she's been in, and that's big time.
She showed up and showed out.
She might have, been like this throughout the season, but come the big games, she always steps up. And every game at the Olympics, especially with this format, is big time. So I expect she's going to be super for us, and she'll lead from the helm. And I think this is going to be a real big opportunity to show her leadership skills too.
Okay, so now we're going to look towards Belgium. First matchup, Tuesday, 27th of July. Let's go. Now, Belgium have a bit of firepower behind them. Yes, can't wait.
I'll tell you what, though, here's the thing about Belgium, right, which is very different to the Opals. This team's been together a long time.
Yes, they have.
And so they've had the Euro Cup qualifiers, and they've played a lot of friendlies. And the players for this program, the ones in the WNBA, chose not to go back to the WNBA and stay with their team for the build-up for the Olympics. Belgium, well coached.
Well coached, yes.
Great preparation. They've got, as I said, Mestag's the coach with his two daughters and
in the team, yeah.
Yeah. And of course, they've got a really good point guard in Elleman. And everybody's talking about her being the number one point guard in Europe. And it's going to be a real challenge for the Opals. But, having said all that, I do believe that it's a good matchup for us. And I think
so too.
We'll be okay, despite not the great preparation. I mean, when you break it down, the Opals have hardly had a camp together in that all the players have been in there. The coaching staff haven't been all there. They've played the USA half a game into the second quarter against Nigeria.
Yeah.
And then I think they got to have a friendly, not much was written about it, but I think they ended up having a friendly against Nigeria before they flew out.
Yeah, I did see a couple of those pictures kind of posted online and stuff through social media. So I think they did,
Not a great preparation coming up against a team who's had a fantastic preparation. I mean, who could ask for a better preparation than the Euro Cup?
No, exactly right. Almost mimicking the high pressure environment, competitive environment. You're coming face to face with the teams that you're going to face in the Olympics. So it's going to be an absolute battle to the buzzer for the Opals in Belgium.
Well, Belgium Cats have a couple of good bigs too.
Yes.
I mean, Meeseman from the WNBA.
Yes, who, as you mentioned, she just set out the WNBA season to prioritize this Olympic campaign with her team.
And I think the other, I always pronounce her name wrong, but Linsky, or she's another big who's really good for them. And they're bringing back Ann Waters.
Yes, they are.
Legend of the game.
Yes.
And I think, I'm not sure what that's about, whether it's a thank you or what, because she wasn't at the Euro Cup. But Ann Waters brings just a wealth of experience, and you talk about Leilani Mitchell being a great leader and calm, and that's like Ann Waters and Meeseman as well. So bringing Ann Waters back, it actually adds another dimension to the Belgian Caps. I think it makes them a little bit better than what they were at the Euro Cup. So it's definitely going to be a challenge for the Opals with that minimum preparation. But I just think we match up. We match up really well.
We match up really well.
And the style of game.
Yeah, I agree. Especially watching, you have Meeseman, who as well, she loves to pick and pop, but she's also back to the basket, very crafty as well. So I think she's going to be really fun to watch against, Ezzy, Kayla, Tolo, watching them go at, head to head at both ends of the floor. And then, of course, Leilani and Allemand as well for their point guard. So
yeah, well, that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
She can shoot the three. You go under, that's on ball, and you're done with her. She's got great range. She pushes the ball. She's crafty getting to the rack. She finishes with both her right and left equally as well. She's an exciting player. I've enjoyed watching her through the Euro Cup.
Yeah, and so just also I think Allemand as well. Fun little fact about her is she was drafted in 2016 in the third round. Now she didn't play. She stayed playing in Europe, and then she's come back to the Indiana Fever, and she was the first player that was drafted in the third round to receive Rookie of the Year for her first year at the WNBA. So I think that's just telling in what we can expect from her. And then
and also the other player that the Belgian Cats have that Australians would know is Van Loo. Van Loo's back in the team. So we know a lot about Van Loo. I think when she came out and played for Townsville, she didn't have such a great season. I've watched her play over the years, and she was definitely a lot better than what we saw in the WNBL.
Yeah.
And she slides back into that, or she slides into the Belgian team, comes off the bench, and she's very confident. They slide Allemand into the two spot when Van Loo comes on sometimes, and she can obviously shoot the ball, bit of hit and miss, but she can play, and we know a little bit about her. But here's the thing about those European teams, and in fact, I want to say about any team that we come up against is that I don't think you'll find better scouters than Sandy Brondello and Olaf and the team of coaches that you have with the Opals. Like, you know, their experience, like Sandy and Olaf spent a lot of time in Europe. They know those players, Olaf being the assistant coach, which is Sandy's husband.
Yep.
They know those players, those European players inside out.
Exactly, yeah.
I think when it comes to scouting and, you know, this is what I always love about the Opals is seeing which way they like to defend teams, see which game plan they're going to come up with is the best way to go after players. So I have no doubt that even though they've had limited preparation, that the scout's going to be solid.
It will be. And especially as well, I mean, you've got former teammates playing against each other as well who will know each other inside and out almost. I think Leilani Mitchell and Emma Meeseman were teammates last year in the Wubble as well. So I think that also adds to the scout for both sides in saying that. But as well, I think it gives you a little bit of an advantage there, just knowing your opponents as former teammates. You kind of know them in and out a little bit.
Women with Drive.
Well, what would be your predictions for the game?
I'm going to predict Opals to win that. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
I think we if we can play that style and attention to detail defensively that we had against the USA in that practice match, if we can replicate the way we played then in this game, we'll beat Belgium, but it's not going to be easy. I expect it to be close.
Yeah, I'd expect it to be a single-digit win. That's kind of where my predictions are. I think, you know, you're coming into Olympics, you're going to play a team that's coming out of high-pressure environment, well prepared, being together. I think it'll be a tough win, but I think they're going to pull it off and get in there between, 7 and 9 points. I'd love to see that for the first win for the Opals.
Yeah, and I expect Ellen to step up in this game. I think she's going to have a good game in this one.
Yeah. And it's going to be two, beautiful styles of basketball playing each other. Lots of ball movement, playing with one another, gritty defense. It's going to be a great game from both sides.
It's going to be quick. It's going to be. I think it's going to be fast.
It is. No, so I'm super excited. But again, thank you, Timsy, so much. Your knowledge is unmatched when it comes to talking Opals and talking Olympics. So thanks so much for your time today. And, hopefully we can chat after the Opals get their first win.
Yep.
Thanks for listening to Women with Drive, hosted by Lou Brown. Make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and if you could, leave us a review.